Good morning. Just want to let everybody know and remind you that we're having our third outreach event on Dixie State campus. We have some handouts in the back table if you'd like to get some at the foyer. Wednesday, November 18th, this coming Wednesday from 10 to 1, we'll be on campus reaching out to the 12,000 students at DSU. So we were there in September and October, and this will be our third visit. We'll also do one more visit in December. So anybody that would like to do that, if you could come about 9:30 on Tuesday morning, we'll meet here and gather things up and head on over.
Is that Tuesday or Wednesday?
Oh, I'm sorry, on Wednesday. I'm sorry, I said it correctly the first time. Thanks for correcting me. It's on Wednesday. Also, would like to share our Evangelism Moment. For the next few weeks, both Scott, myself, and Pastor Michael will be sharing to you from Tactics and Defending the Faith, which is a ministry from Stand to Reason. And this ministry is conducted by a man named Greg Kukul. And it's a great resource, and he has some excellent tactics for sharing our faith with and beginning conversations, gospel conversations. So we're each going to be sharing a series from these talks. And anybody who would like the website, I can give you that afterwards. The truth is this: the gospel can be defended if it's properly understood and properly articulated by a winsome ambassador. If we take our time and think through the issues, we can make a solid defense. If we have the truth, there will always be a flaw in the opposing argument. Keep looking for it. Sooner or later, it will show up. The right tactic will help you discover the flaw in your opponent's argument and show it for the error it is. Our need for tactics concerns our commission to be effective ambassadors for Christ. Ambassadors use these three skills: knowledge, which is an accurately informed mind. We need that. We need wisdom, and we can use that wisdom tactically in an artful method of conveying God's truth. And we also need character, which helps us in our approach to people. These skills play a part in very effective engagement with a non-believer. The second skill, the artful method or tactical wisdom, is our focus in this series over the next few weeks. Tactics should enable you to present the truth clearly and persuasively. They should enable you to maneuver and get a footing or an advantage in a conversation, helping you to navigate through minefields. Tactics puts you in the driver's seat, allowing you, in many cases, to stop a challenger cold and turn the tables, offering him the arguments for Christianity he should carefully consider. The goal is using tactics is to manage, not manipulate, to control but not coerce, and to use finesse and not end up fighting. So there's an old TV series called Columbo, and Greg uses this approach, and it's a wonderful approach. The Columbo tactic is the queen mother of all the tactics. It's the simplest tactic imaginable to stop a challenger in his tracks, turn the tables, and get him thinking. It's an almost effortless way to put you in the driver's seat. The Columbo tactic is named for TV's Lieutenant Columbo. Anybody remember that, old enough? He was a brilliant detective who appears bumbling, inept, and completely harmless to his enemies. With his rumpled trench coat, his bedhead, stub of a cigar, and borrowed pencil, Columbo looks like he couldn't think his way out of a wet paper bag. However, while putting his foes at ease with his harmless demeanor, Columbo then employs his trademark approach. I got a problem. Something about this thing bothers me. You're a very intelligent person. Maybe you can clear this up for me. Do you mind if I ask you a question? Just one more thing. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm making a pest of myself. I know I am. It's because I keep asking these questions. But I'll tell you, I can't help myself. It's a habit. The Columbo habit that I just brought a few words out of is a habit we all want to be able to do. The key to the Columbo tactic is to go on the offensive in a disarming way with carefully selected questions to productively advance the conversation. This guideline is simple. If you hit a roadblock, ask a question. Never make an assertion when a question can take the same point. With planning and practice, this tactic can become second nature. This approach offers tremendous advantages. Questions are interactive, inviting others to participate. Questions make headway without requiring you to state your case. Questions shift the burden of proof to the other person. Most importantly, the Columbo tactic puts you in the driver's seat. The Columbo tactic has 3 unique applications, each fueled by a different question. The first is to gain information. And you do that by asking the question similar to this: what do you mean by that? The second is to reverse the burden of proof. And a good question for that is, how did you come to that conclusion? The third application is to indirectly exploit a weakness or a flaw that is one of the underlying presuppositions that we talked about in worldview evangelism. And we'll cover these 3 key questions in the next evangelism moments over the next few weeks. So it can be fun. You can use some of the tactics like Columbo did, and questions are an excellent way to approach it. And I think these kinds of things will blend very nicely into our outreach over the campus, because we're using the worldview survey as our general approach to talking to the students. So I think you'll find this an effective method. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Roger, for that. Not every time we go with the gospel will we need to kind of answer challenges. Not always are challenges raised. Sometimes people are ready to hear the gospel. But when challenges are raised, one of the first things Roger said today is what's important to remember. We have the truth with a capital T, absolute truth. And life only exists because of God, because of His plan, His purpose. And so the truth is on our side. So we're not trying to convince people of something that there's no way they can see any reason it could possibly be true. When we ask those questions, the challenges fade away. Now, of course, unbelief is unbelief, but there's no rational reason to dismiss God and the gospel. And if people are actually thinking that there is, then what we're trying to do is be equipped to help them to see that. If they choose not to believe it, if they reject it, then that's what they're doing. But this is an excellent opportunity for us to understand that we have truth.